This is the best performance in Strongholds I have seen in Halo Infinite yet. They are dominating in every single lane. They're not letting Optic Gaming get together. They're not letting them have a moment to breathe. It's a suffocating, constricting squeeze that they have on this Stronghold games. And Optic is, they're squirming. They're trying to break out, but there's just nothing they can do.
Here's one positive for Quadrant. We're going to recharge. So Lucid not going to have an opportunity to grab that heat wave. We saw him absolutely dominate with it so far in this series. But he's going to have to find something else. Maybe that disruptor, maybe that shock rifle here as we hop on board with a game 4 on recharge.
Almost gets right into the face of Legend, and well, he's not going to be able to stay alive. They're going to give up that repulse to Sica and SLG, able to get camo and shock rifle. So, hey, you know, this might be Optic's best game type, but when you give everything away, any team can beat you.
Great start here for Quadrant. But we've seen great starts, Garrett. We've seen great starts from Quadrant here in this series. And even previously against Sentinels, but they weren't able to cross the finish line. SLG now with that shock rifle. Look at the double variety. There's a tough spot to hold shock rifle. A lot of options for those grenades in the corner, but I love the smart play here, utilizing that pad on the ground, getting the shock damage out, and don't look out, Quadrant up 30 and rolling a potential trip cap as well. Wow, that was a great start for them.
And the shock rifle has been so deadly in the hands of SLG. He gets Formal to 1. APG's trying to keep Formal alive. It's not going to be successful, but still yet to score a point is Optic Gaming, and Lucid's the last alive. He can finish the stronghold at A, but they're going to lose B immediately. tufoxy's going to see that rotation to C. I think he's going to call for a counter. I think Quadrant's going to be moving their way to A.
Yeah, A was barely captured there for Optic. It was just clinging to that last second they needed as they finally got the finish. 3 go down for Quadrant. What do you see here, Garrett?
Insane, right? They saw the counter rotation to A, but Optic Gaming said, yeah, we're rotating to C, but we're leaving Lucid at A, and you got to beat down our best Slayer. He gets 2 right away. The noob combo puts in work, and Quadrant, they had the opening trip cap, but suddenly Optic Gaming find one of their own. They're getting right back in this game.
Yeah, and that's the luxury you have when you have guys like Lucid, Renegade, Frosty, maybe even a Boo Boo Doober on your team. You can send them off by themselves, right? And so often in Halo, the winner of sequences, battles, and games comes down. It's a numbers game, really. But when you've got that individual slaying prowess, when you're one of the best players in the world, you can afford to send them on, send them out on a solo mission. Sica on a solo mission of his own here with that camo, looking to flank into the cap point of C and take Trippy's back. He does just that. Great job here from Quadrant. Does it look like Optic Gaming was putting a little bit of pressure back on him? Quadrant with an answer, but just like that, B going in favor of Optic. Gonna have to make a play here. You cannot give up that B control. If you do, Optic is gonna regain the lead.
Yeah, Lucid tries to play quiet right there, right? But the problem is that Sica saw Lucid and Trippy when he had camouflage and knew that Lucid was somewhere. And it didn't matter how long Lucid waited to try to get behind, be that snake in the grass. Sica was going to find him, and he was going to cut off the head. And he was able to get those kills, and suddenly things are starting to look better and better for Quadrant. It's a trip cap, and SLG has quick access to the opening hill.
Optic, just like in that one win we saw for Quadrant, the Slayer, whereas 5 sequences in a row where they won the team wipe against Optic. Seeing a little mini version of that here in this recharge Strongholds. Oh, don't make it deja vu in another one. Oh my God, it's back-to-back sequences here. Oh, SLG with the double kill. 4 down for Optic Gaming. A trip cap for Quadrant, and they're nearly tripling up on the lead.
Can you suffocate the life from Optic? They're trapped, surrounded at the long haul. SLG awaits at the back. He gets 1. The teammates are coming. They're collapsing. Everything is going right. 4 down once again in the spawn trap. It's still in place. They have A block. They're spawning in long haul once again. It didn't work at C. They're going to go back towards B, but Quadrant's ready.
Oh, and if you're a team in the mix, you got to be watching this series licking your chops because Optic, the gods of Halo, are looking mortal today, Garrett. 200 to 50. This is unbelievable. Quadrant hasn't let up.
This is the best performance in Strongholds I have seen in Halo Infinite yet. They are dominating in every single lane. They're not letting Optic Gaming get together. They're not letting them have a moment to breathe. It's a suffocating, constricting squeeze that they have on this Stronghold games. And Optic is, they're squirming. They're trying to break out, but there's just nothing they can do.
SLG with the Hail Mary grenade, and why not give it a toss when everything is going right for Quadrant? SLG now pushing back into the B. He says, I quite enjoyed that triple cap earlier. I'll take another one as Optic looks to regain control of A, but that A cap is not going to stop the bleeding here as Optic Gaming might just bleed out and send us to a game 5.
That is the most convincing victory I have seen yet. But it's not over. Okay. 249 to 50. C, Lucid in C. A's getting transferred over by Legend.
Pre-nades.
I don't think they're going to get it.
No pre-nades. He had the pre-nades.
Nothing. One more. They're still in the hill.
It was
Lucid
the pre-nades.
Lucid breaks.
It was the pre-nades. You saw Legend had 2 grenades to work with, and you have to imagine the desperation is coming for Optic Gaming. You lose nothing but a couple frags, which you'll pick up off of a dead body if you just let it rip towards the A door instead. Quadrant with the slip up and Optic regaining their footing.
Optic Gaming now have firm control, but no mistakes can be made. tufoxy gets into the back of C. He's made one shot, but SLG cleans 2. C transfers hands, and this is over. Quadrant just played the most convincing game of Strongholds I have ever seen. That's the world champions, and they just did that too.
That's the world champions. That's the previously undefeated Strongholds world champions as they take their first L, and it sends us to a game 5, Garrett. And do you recall what happened in the previous game 2 Slayer?
I think Quadrant won that one, right?
Quadrant won it 50-48 with 5 back-to-back-to-back sequences where they earned the wipes. That's exactly what they did here. It was the five back-to-back-to-back-to-back instances where they got the numbers advantage on Optic, and goodness, we saw what that did in the Slayer variety. On a Strongholds variety, it's looking like that. 250-60. Quadrant are on the brink of an upset in game 5. Garrett, what is happening?